What's up, Drivetrain, and welcome back to another video. This video is going to be a helmet shootout. We will be reviewing and comparing a lot of the helmets that we have or that we're borrowing. This is also another video in our new BMX rider series that we're doing. And if you're like me, a lot of times you think about getting a new bike and you're like, oh, I can put all these fun parts on it. And you think about the bike and all the parts you're gonna put on it, and you don't really think about the helmet that you're gonna wear.
Yeah, so oftentimes we get thinking about the bike, we get thinking about the parts, but for all the parents out there that your kids are just getting into racing, we think about the insurance side of things, we think about safety, and we put all this money into a bike, and a lot of times we go for the least expensive helmet because it's kind of an afterthought. And so today what we want to tell you is not only are there great helmets out there and available, and we've got some on the table that we're transitioning to this year, but there's also ones we've been racing that it cost us almost the same amount of money as one of the nicer, more purpose-built helmets. So we're going to go through some of the numbers, we're going to go through the details, what makes the helmets different and more geared towards BMX racing. But before we do that, shout out number one to Fly Racing for co-sponsoring this year, as well as Vega Racing BMX. So they've made us the capability to get us some new helmets, and we've also got some other ones that we're going to test out in the Fly line. And so this is the Fly Rayce, spelled R-A-Y-C-E, and this one is the Fly Kinetic, different style helmet. Then we've got the helmets that we've been racing up here as well. We'll talk about all the particulars and the prices with all of these helmets as we go through this video. So let's run the intro clip, and then we'll get into some of the science. All right, so welcome back to another video. Again, this is part of the series that we're doing about new riders getting into BMX. So some of the videos that you might have seen are how to get set up with USA BMX, maybe how to read a moto sheet at your local track. But today we're going to talk about helmets. There's a lot of different varieties, and Riley started racing. How old did you start when you were, what, 12?
I think 12, yeah. Okay,
so we started racing a couple years ago, and what we did was what most people do. We found a bike, some inexpensive bike that we got that was a used bike, and we got her on it, and then we thought, oh no, we need a helmet. So we picked up this helmet over here. This is the GLX helmet. This is from Amazon. You can go on, I think right now it comes with maybe a set of goggles and a set of gloves. I'll put it here on the screen and you can see that. But that helmet is $100, okay? So while it does come with gloves and it does come with goggles, most people honestly don't ride goggles. This helmet has served you well, but we're gonna talk about where it falls weight-wise in between these two Fly helmets. We're also gonna talk about the cost, again, compared to the Fly, and what about the safety aspects of this helmet compared to both of the Fly helmets. Now for me, I've been running this NEAL helmet. This is it's a motocross, it's a DOT style helmet. It had a really cool paint job on it that was not family friendly. And so I shot it black. I had a friend of mine shoot it black for me. But this helmet has served me well. Also, I've tested its durability a couple times in turns. One of the things that I love about it is it has a magnetic clasp on it. We're going to talk about that at the end of this video because I'm going to add one onto my new race helmet because I love it so much. Let's talk through the specifics of this helmet versus the Fly Kinetic and how they're kind of similar, but the Fly Rayce is set up way different because it's geared towards mountain bike and BMX racing.
Helmet safety, even when you're recording a videos, people.
All right, so this is the Fly Kinetic. Now this is their DOT series helmet, meaning it's motocross compliant. All of these actually, I guess, are DOT, but we'll see when we get to the race that it's geared towards mountain bike and BMX racing. But the Fly Kinetic, it does have a clasp similar to the GLX helmet. They all come with a double D-ring clasp mechanism which sometimes is a little tough for the younger kids. Now, it's always good to have the parents check the helmet once you get it on to make sure it's positioned right. As well, typically the gate starter is going to be checking to make sure that helmets are clamped. A lot of times when we see it unclamped, they will stop the gate. If it's a bigger race, they call you off of the gate. If it's a smaller local race, they might just help you fix it. So that's something to note. The next thing to note is this. Look at visibility. When we look through, you have a good bit of visibility, but coming up here, we've got a very high area here as well. Down here, next to the chin, is pretty thick. So if we look at mine, coming out around here, you've got a lot of padding, which you want the padding, but it does tend to sit out a little thicker. If we get your GLX helmet, we can also show that as well has a pretty thick area around here, which again, good for padding, but it does tend to knock on the shoulders potentially, if depending on how you're riding. The other thing is breathability. When we look at this helmet, there are some breathing points up here and some at the top, but these Rayce helmets, which we're going to talk about in a minute, these Rayce helmets have a bunch of breathability in here throughout the top of the helmet, coming out the back. So these vents are designed to cool your head a bunch as well as keep you safe. So that's all of the kind of general parameters, but let's talk about weight. Because think about having this helmet on your head, bobbling around the track, your neck has to hold this thing up. And let's talk about the weight comparisons of what we've been riding, the Fly Rayce and the Fly Kinetic. Now, Riley's been in the medium size helmet. I'm in a large. And so what we have here are all mediums and all larges. All right, let's talk some science numbers for a minute. We've got these set up from lightest helmet on the outside to heaviest on the inside. Let's talk about the Fly Rayce first off. Oh no, it's starting to drizzle. We're gonna do this quick. The Fly Rayce for Riley's here comes in at 2.07 pounds, which for the non-pound people is 940 grams. Now next up, we've got the GLX helmet she's been riding. So 2.07, this one is 2.7 pounds. So that's over a half pound heavier. That comes in at 1,228 grams. And then the Fly Kinetic, the heaviest of all, but still a great helmet. The Fly Kinetic here, 3.09 pounds and 1403 grams. So the venting does drop some weight, the design overall of the helmet. It's also just a slimmer form factor. The Kinetic, you can see that here just on the table. Let's talk about the larges though. For us bigger grown folks with the larges, the Fly Kinetic large comes in also at 2.07 pounds, so the same weight, 940 grams. My NEAL comes in at 2.60 pounds for 1,183 grams. And the large Fly Kinetic, 3.09 pounds, 1,403 grams. So the medium and large are actually somehow surprisingly the same weight. I don't know how they do that with more science for themselves, but we're gonna finish this video up inside because it's starting to rain.
Get the helmets, get the babies.
Here we go.
All right, so now that we've talked about the actual weight of the product, we're gonna talk about the visibility. So with the Kinetic helmet, this one personally has the least visibility. The Kinetic and the GLX have a very similar part up here and on the side, where this visibility is very similar. However, this part comes up higher, and so for me, I found that this mouthpiece right here provides less visibility than the GLX. Now on this GLX helmet, I'm going to be fair, there is a little piece up here that is missing because I've had it for so long that it fell off. But even with that little piece up here, it still has a little more visibility than the Kinetic. Now, running away with it is the Rayce helmet. you can see the track that you're riding on with all of this. It might not seem like a lot, but once you stick it on your face and you actually ride around with it, all of these holes are so helpful, and it comes out a little wider over here to provide even more visibility. Now, weight on your head. As a younger person, I am smaller, and so I feel the weight of the helmet on my head more. This one, I'm gonna be honest, felt kind of like a bobblehead. It was pretty heavy, but it was also just big and bulky. Like, this part is pretty big right here. But the minute I stuck this one on my head, it felt really smooth, really smooth.
Very nice.
So this is my favorite one out of these three.
All right, so now that we've talked about some of the benefits and the differences in the helmet, when it comes to price, let's talk about that. Now, this is 2025. Obviously, there's availability and shipping and all this stuff about the different products that you could get. If we start at mine, I bought my helmet used, so it was already used, sweated on by some other grown man, which seems weird to think about, but I picked it up for, I think, $85. I'm always in it for a deal, but then I had to get it painted again because it wasn't family friendly, so we'll just say around $100. The GLX current price right now, that is $100. I just checked Amazon, and again, comes with gloves and a set of goggles. And then we get to the Fly helmets. Now, the Fly Rayce helmet is $130, $129.95. So this helmet, for only a few bucks more, gets you a much more race-specific helmet, and as we talked about with the numbers, way, way lighter, which is gonna be easier on the noggin.
And more visibility.
And more visibility. We go from that, $130, up to $140 or $139.95 for the Fly Kinetic. So the Kinetic is actually the heaviest and the most expensive, but again, it's not designed for BMX and mountain bike racing, it's designed for motocross, so get yourself a more BMX specific helmet. Now, with that in mind, if you think, you know what, the 30 bucks extra is not worth it, there's also more safety features built into these Fly Rayce helmets that, if you look on their website, talks about the different certifications that they have. So that keeps you safe as well. They're designed to slightly shift and adjust, and maybe, just maybe, we might be able to get a set of the Carbon Works helmets that Fly has just for testing purposes and to kind of finish out the Fly line. This Kinetic is brand new for 2025. The Fly Rayce was, I believe, a 2023 and 2024 model, but I believe that they're continuing them. And the Fly Works, that is a really expensive helmet. It's a carbon helmet. It's super light, super durable, and it has extra safety things put into it that, again, look on the website, do a little research, find out about the science, and you might be amazed.
I am super, super excited to get to ride with this new Fly Rayce helmet. I had received the amazing gift of having this new bike back in October for my birthday, and I'm super excited to finish it out, kind of complete it with this amazing Fly Rayce helmet, and I'm super excited to get it on the track, ride with it, and just see how it works.
Yeah, and same thing for me with the fresh builds that we just completed here for 2025, the new Vega Racing BMX frame for her, myself as well. I went with the matte color on the frame, and it goes really well with this race helmet. So yeah, pretty stoked to get these things on the racetrack and just see how everything feels with them. We're gonna put a couple stickers on them, but again, thanks again to Fly Racing via Rocket Racing BMX for getting us these helmets to not only test, bring you guys some information, but also pick up and ride with these race helmets the rest of the season. Hey, if you found value in this video, let me know. Also, let me know what type of helmet are you riding right now. Let me know down in the description. And let us know if you're gonna pick up one of these Fly Rayce helmets for your upcoming races. I think you're gonna love it. And that's it for right now though. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you next time. Peace.